Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of the difference between TikTok ads and Facebook ads for e-commerce. Now, inside of this, it's not going to be a breakdown on how to run the ads for TikTok and Facebook, but rather a breakdown of the results that I got running similar products, or if not the same products, to TikTok and Facebook to my Shopify site. Some of the things that I really want to point out is the cost per click, the click-through rate, the return on ad spend, and how many conversions I got. These are things that I look at for my ads: cost per click, the click-through rate. This tells me if people are actually engaging with the ad, and if it is it a large enough audience for them to put it in front of people and have a good amount of clicks per 1,000 views. Then I look at click-through rate. Click-through rate tells me, are people actually engaging with the ad after they've seen it? And of that, what's the percentage? And then of the people that actually clicked and landed on my page, how many of them converted? And then that'll tell me our return on ad spend. So a few different metrics that we're going to look at. So I'll compare them, starting with TikTok. On TikTok, this account spent $2,800, close to $2,900 basically. Now, with that, on average, I had a 1.83% click-through rate. So on average, I had an 81-cent cost per click. But you can see cost per click as high as $1.70, $1.86, and then as low as 26 cents. But you also want to take a look at the cost, how much I spent during that time. So only $34, that's not a good gauge because that's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, versus where I had ad sets or CBOs where I spent $300, $398, $253, almost $500, where you have cost per clicks of almost $2, 84 cents, 42 cents. So this was a good one. And you get a chance to gauge. This is a lot of testing, right? Seeing what works, what doesn't work, comparing CBOs versus ABOs, testing different creatives, different products. I'm doing a lot inside of each of these campaigns. So on average, I had an 80-cent cost per click. On average, that's not bad. It's not great either. But I also had click-through rates of 1.83%. You could argue it's okay, but I'm going to compare it against something else which negates that. So 1.83% click-through rate is not the best on 46 conversions. So I spent $2,800 and got 46 conversions. Now, the amount of conversions only matters. You can only gauge if it's good or not depending on how much your product is. So let's say I spent $2,800 and my price point for my product is $10,000, right? And I sold one. You may say you spent a lot of money, but I made almost 4 times my ad spend amount. So it's solely based on whatever your product price is. Now, my product price wasn't large because of the industry that I was in, but I had 46 conversions. And with those 46 conversions, you can see I had a large cost per conversion, meaning it took me on average $61 to get a sale. That's not good at all. And I'll explain why this happened. And then lastly, we'll take a look at the return on ad spend. On average, I was losing money, meaning so typically you'd have to figure out what your break-even return on ad spend is, but I wasn't even getting 1 times what I was putting in. So if I spent $2,000, I wasn't even getting $2,000. So I'll give you a number to help you with the calculation. If I spent $1,000, if I got 60.66 return on ad spend back, that means I only got $660 back. Right? That doesn't make sense. So you take in ads, you also take in fulfillment cost, payment transactions, and then I only got 66% back of what I spent on ads. You lost a lot of money. Now, that's great. A lot of people would give up and do all that. I was like, no, I know there's something here. So I took that to Facebook. Now, this is where things get interesting and where I want to show the comparison. You'll see that this is the account that I had for Facebook, and I'll zoom in just a little. With this account, I spent $1,800 roughly, close to $1,900. On average, my cost per purchase was $19.70 odd cent. I had some as high as $88 because it was my first day running them, and I was testing out products, right? That's high, but I was willing to test and get those high numbers so that they could warm up the account to that product and find and better fit, basically warm up the pixel for that product and find my audience. So I was willing to lose money the first day, 2 or 3, so that I could get better purchases on the back end. I've had purchases as low as $11, $12 for certain products that I was selling and marking up higher than that. So when you take that all in, let's look at the same metrics that we looked at previously. Now, we are looking for cost per click. On average, my cost per click was 75 cents, which is better, but let me look for something. We'd have as low as 39 cents cost per click and as high as $1, basically $2 cost per click. The click-through rate, however, was a lot better, meaning of the people that did see, although it cost me more to put it in front of a lot of people based on certain metrics, it cost me less in comparison to TikTok, but I would like something like 60 cent, 50 cent cost per click on average. Now, the click-through rate on average was 4.47%. Now, what that means is by 1,000 people, if 1,000 people saw my ad, how many people actually clicked on it? And then that is your click-through rate of 1,000 people, whatever that is. So on average, we had a 4.47 click-through rate. So it's better to look at the link click-through rate and the link cost per click. So at 75 cents and then also 4.47 click-through rate. Now, if we go a little further, we see our return on ad spend. We had on average a 2.67 return on ad spend. And this is why I test, right? I had products that were under the $1 or one return on ad spend, meaning if I spend 1,000, I'd get less than 1,000 back. You had some that were above as high as 2.85%, another as high as 5.9, not percent, excuse me. You had some as high as 2.85, others as high as 5.89, and then others in the mid ones, 163, 152. And those, again, were me testing, figuring things out. So if I go back, you see the cost and me trying to hone in, again, trying CBOs, trying ABOs, trying different creatives for the products within S products, because I was testing multiple products at once, trying to figure it out. And when you put all that together, we had 94 conversions. So if you look here in the results, we had 94 website purchases in total. So yeah, you have these different metrics that you're looking at. We spent less money and got more purchases or conversions. We had lower cost per clicks. We had higher click-through rates. We had higher return on ad spend. So when you tie all that together, let's break it down. So what does this actually mean for deciding where to put your product? Should you advertise on TikTok ads or advertise on Facebook ads platform? Now, for me, with what I was doing and the way that I go about drop shipping or e-commerce, especially when I'm focused on selling products that are viral and have virality, I am scraping them from TikTok, meaning I'm looking for products that have high sale volume on TikTok. I'm looking for I'm looking for products that have high video creatives, meaning a lot of people have created content for them and have a lot of engagement. And I'm looking for something that I can build around a niche, whether that's beauty, whether that's some form of fitness, whatever that may be. So for that reason, I prefer to test and sell products on Facebook. I've had better experience, better results with Facebook ads. Why is that? Number one, you have TikTok Shop, which is a huge competitor to you. If a user has the ability to seamlessly check out, buy products at a discounted price and do it effectively and has a better experience, you are going to lose to that majority of the time. So people and customers on TikTok are more likely to purchase from TikTok Shop, especially for the same product. So number one, TikTok Shop exists and is very strong. Number two, video competition, especially if you're testing content that is scraped from TikTok or content that you may create yourself. Again, you are probably competing with people that have organic videos that are the same or paid content for the same videos to TikTok Shop versus you doing it to a Shopify site or a link. It's better for the customer to just fill out everything on TikTok Shop and finalize everything. So you're competing with sellers on TikTok Shop as well as video competition organically and paid on TikTok Shop for the same product. And lastly, the customer experience. That's tying everything that we already stated together so that they can actually have a good experience. One is TikTok Shop. The platform is great. Video competition. They have organic content that they can watch of the same products and paid ads that will be put in front of them for the same product, as well as shipping times and sellers that are willing to work with them in a better experience for them. So meaning they're going to have customer support. They're going to have a lot of things that businesses established would have, but on TikTok Shop where they're constantly interacting anyway. Now, how to market profitably. Now, what you want to do is test. Test as many video creators as possible organically, right? Let's say you start off with content organically. Either you're producing it, you could even be scraping and compiling videos together. You want to do a lot of that to see what engages with your audience the best. Now, after you do that, you get a lot of free exposure because you're just posting on your organic TikTok page, your organic Facebook and Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever that may be, and you want to see what works the best. Which videos are people interacting with, engaging with, commenting on, asking questions about. Take those videos and put money behind them. So then you can actually go to Facebook ads platform and post the videos that you have seen work organically. Number 2 is creating a compelling offer. Now, what that means is you have to understand that marketing doesn't just start and stop at the video creative, hoping that someone has seen your product once and is willing to spend 20, 30, 40, 50, upwards of $100 on your product. The start is them seeing your product, your brand, your company, and having an experience that either provides them some wow factor or a solution to whatever it is that they may need. 2 is landing on your landing page, right? 3 is going through the checkout, the price point. You're selling them, and then landing to the checkout. Then your payment processors need to be in order. It's a funnel. They go through a lot of experiences and different systems before they actually get to purchasing. And in order for that to happen, that final completion, that final purchase, that final payment, you have to send them through the whole system, the whole funnel, and it needs to match everything from point A to point B and anything in between. So make a compelling offer and make sure that whatever your video says, so whatever you're selling in your video, make sure that that exists on your landing page as well. And then lastly, again, is the customer experience. Your landing page is your virtual salesman, meaning the same way that if someone were to purchase on TikTok Shop, they would have an experience that separates them from going on Shopify or going to any other platform. The reason you go to Amazon, the reason that you go to Chick-fil-A, the reason that you go to these different businesses and companies is because, one, they market well and their marketing, their brand exists in the customer experience. So when you land on that product, you know that from point A when I saw it to point B when I land on the landing page, I'm going to see everything that represents about this product and this brand, and it's going to flow from everything that I saw in point A, which was your video creative. So now I'm here on the landing page, which is what we stated earlier, and then you're going to have some offer, the price, the selling point, things that people can benefit from, the advantages that separate you from your competition, customer reviews, testimonials, things that separate you from your competitors who are doing the same or slightly different with the same product, payment options, and customer support. So all these come together and create a good customer experience. So that is the difference between TikTok ads and Facebook ads, specifically with e-commerce in regards to selling products that also exist on TikTok Shop. Now, I've done TikTok ads in other markets for lead generation, for mobile app downloads, subscriptions, and other niches, other industries where I've done great with TikTok ads. However, specifically when talking about selling products for e-commerce that also exist on TikTok Shop, it is better to remarket and repurpose those products on Facebook ads platform. So with that being said, I hope you all did enjoy this video. I hope that it was impactful, it was useful and valuable. And if you have more questions or you'd like to talk with me directly, you can check the top link in the description. But as always, we'll see you in the next video.